as well on this side. It should be a really entertaining match as we see great sportsmanship there as the players embrace. Of course, a number of these boys would know each other through representative programs. They've played in the Auckland Vulcans together, or maybe perhaps for Toa Samoa or Mate Matatonga at age group level. They will be familiar with each other. And it looks like it's going to be St. Paul's to get us underway off the boot of Joseph Green, it looks like. If you are just tuning in, the two earlier games, Southern Cross, they won a thriller in Golden Point over St. Paul's in under-15s, 9-a-side, and just a couple of minutes ago, Sir Edmund Hillary crowned champions of the girls' 9-a-side grade. So Kaz Roberts, in fact, it is, who is going to get us underway here. 25-minute halves in this one, a little longer than the two earlier matches. Here we go, 50 minutes to decide a champion, and we're into it. And it will be St. Paul's with the first use of the footy. And, through the regular season, it was neither of these two sides who topped the competition. James Cook finishing second and St. Paul's third, as you see an early knock-on. So hopefully not a sign of things to come. We did see a number of handling errors in the first game. Not so bad in the girls' game where ball control was a little better, and we saw some brilliant handling, in fact, from Aorere College, who just seemed determined to continue to throw the footy around. So Moi Tiariki will feed this scrum, and here's an ideal opportunity for James Cook to get straight into it here now. Green plays at the line and then brings Roberts in, and they hit the edge straight away. Ball comes loose. And two sets of the ball, and we get to have a completion. So errors either way, and perhaps a bit of excitement just leaching in there. Troy, both teams keen to...
A little bit of nerves and saying that I got the opportunity to slip out the back while we were chopping and changing the commentary table around that was outside in the elements. And the...
James Cook.
St. Paul's boys. We're warming up with a lot of intent. So you probably noticed, a few of them were already muddy before they got here. They were certainly, striding into things out there on the backfield. Oh, great hit in regards to being bumped off. Yep, stay with me, Corey. Come back now.
So St. Paul's now working it out. And they get their second use of the footy now, and
good strong carry.
Tuini turns him back inside, and good carry forward. This is the number 8, Jordan Finau. This is club footy for Watamata, and solid contact there. It's 13 on 13. Kaz Roberts probably comes out the better of that one. Straight back up to his feet as well was Schaff. Good kick here now, and makes the decision to play it, and that's unfortunate. That is really unfortunate there. Fred Fa'amita made the decision to play at it and then just lost his footing. That field is well and truly drenched now. If it wasn't drenched before kickoff, the last 20 minutes of on and off torrential rain have changed that. So James Cook will now drop the ball out, and St. Paul's, after that error on their opening set, do really well to get downfield that time and force the repeat. And they get back into their work now via Litolo, who was signed with the New Zealand Warriors in a development capacity. Part of the young talent coming through that club now is Toari'i. Gets decked to the ground. He's 15 or so out. Work it forward now via...
Still going.
Latu, who gets rid of one and gets rid of a second. There's a player down here, and had some grave concerns initially. He didn't move. And, he's now starting to come to his senses as the trainers rush on now. So that was a little bit scary at first, and I think it's Fred Fa'amita who's down on the ground. Great to see the trainers onto the field quickly again now, and this is going to be a change straight away. So we'll have time off here. And
you look like a head knock.
Yeah, he certainly hit the ground pretty hard and didn't move initially. There was some movement afterwards, which was good to see, but some concern being shown by the St. Paul's 11 as well. Latu So a bit of a pause early on here, but
Just go on the ear, start the end and run away.
well, as we go into a bit of a break here, Troy, we couldn't have asked for much more out of those opening two games. Some really good footy played, and the conditions don't really seem to be putting a dampener on things too much, do they?
No, the first game was an absolute cliffhanger, going into extra time and Golden Point. The last game, I think we've sort of covered that off. If you only just come in and joined us now in this match, Shed and Hillary just very direct. They had a lot of power up front and certainly took it to them. And it looks like they're going to take kick of goal here. Mate.
Yeah, so interesting call early on, and we don't see this a lot at college level. In fact, I'm not sure we've seen many penalties kicked at all this year as the flag goes up, and St. Paul's will get out to an early 2-0 lead. It comes off the boot of Willie Toini. If you are hearing a bit of clicking in the background there, we do apologise. Our commentary box, a bit of an ever-moving construction today as the weather causes some issues, but rest assured we're all in position to bring you the rest of the action from this one before we get into the big match of the day, and what a game that's going to be, and we'll have a chat about that throughout this one as well. But in the meantime, really looking forward to seeing how this one plays out. So, good opening 5 minutes from St. Paul's after the error on the first set. They composed themselves nicely and showed some good game management down that end of the field, and that's a tricky one which has gone through the legs and ended up a clean miss. So plan will be the call. Jumping into dummy half is McGrath, who plays his club footy for the Manurewa Marlins. He's also a Counties Manukau and New Zealand under-16s rep. A really talented player at the bottom of the ruck. He'll be one to watch throughout this one as we see big contact there, and Kaz Roberts putting himself about plenty early on, getting through a whole lot of defensive work. They'll work the short side now, will St. Paul's, and the first up miss initially on Tupou, and it will draw a penalty in the end. McGrath now looking, and he's indicated he wants to kick for touch.
St. Paul's getting an easy out there with a penalty late in the second count there.
And Tuini does just that, puts that one safely onto the running track here. A nice little crowd starting to build as well, Troy, and one thing we have learnt from the past few years at college footy, the
School finishes at 3 and everyone comes here.
And the intensity, well, it's better than you'll find anywhere, really. There's some brilliant scenes over the years of particularly those Premier finals, and we saw last year a number of the New Zealand Warriors boys actually attend the final here, and James Gavitt leading that Kelston school haka at the conclusion of the final.
Great run, strong run, great carry. Front rowers love that stuff.
So Finau, he wanted to keep going, and you're right, he loved it that much. He didn't stop when the referee said held, so go back and do it again. Is the call, and you can just see McGrath there just orchestrating and
he's going on again.
Calling him, and Finau, and it was actually called back for a penalty there, so they'll get 6 again here now. Will St. Paul's. McGrath clears the ruck, and we'll go to the right edge. Tuini holds it up and then brings his centre into it, and Lavima'o, he's tackled just short of the line. Maroon jerseys lining up for carries. That's a sloppy ball out of dummy half, but it'll be cleaned up nicely by Shuff.
Whoa.
Point Chevalier Pirate lock forward. Get to the play of the ball now, and McGrath looks to centralise, finds his playmaker, and then they go to the other playmaker, and he ducks out of one,
defense, yeah.
ducks out of two. He draws in 4 defenders, and will be taking the ground right in front of the Hayden and Roll It uprights. McGrath looking left, and instead he's going to go himself, and he'll go right next to the uprights. We're going to need a referee's call here. This is going to be a try. St. Paul's are in, their first try of the match. And it's just clever stuff from Jeremiah McGrath.
See on the SAS replay here, called that early too. There was a number of defenders in around him. He managed, he's struggling to get up for the quick play of the ball. Does so. And a little dart from dummy half. He wasn't even looking to pass. He was basically heading straight to the line.
And he almost really used that goalpost as a sort of aid there,
Little
didn't
buffer,
he?
yeah.
Obviously a defender not able to get there when they're right up against their line, so that's a
An
heads-up
NFL
play.
block.
Yeah, well, that's right. Whatever advantage you can get, I guess, as the conversion is good, and St. Paul's get out to an 8-0 lead after as many minutes here at Mount Smart Stadium number 2. Thank you for joining in. If you're just joining us, we're in game 3 of our 4-game extravaganza here at Mount Smart Stadium number 2. The weather has cleared a little, plenty of surface water down around the ground though.
Well, it's all been St. Paul's way. They've had most of the ball. And they've been in the right part of the park as well, just quietly.
So Kaz Roberts putting the ball on the tee as we prepare to get back underway.
Hold on, play on! Play on! That's it, release the ball!
Good chase off the kickoff by James Cook.
One.
Want the ball out now, getting involved, looking for some workers. Ben Tariri. 30 out from the line. You're picking up the referee's audio there as we hear him communicating with the players. Here's Finau again, and had some really good carries in the last few minutes. One in particular where I thought he was going to go all the way to the try line.
Oh.
You see a dropped ball there, and that's going to be called backwards. Taking the ground just short of halfway is McGrath. To the kick. Tuini finds some space between winger and fullback before they look up, and there's a Sia Marone there. It's a good kick chase from St. Paul's as well. They put PJ Sulla, freshman on the field, to ground.
James Cook just one off the ruck at the moment.
Roberts, he gets
Well, truly met.
but he's been nice and busy early on. They get to their kick, James Cook, and it's not a bad one over the top. The chase is good, and leading the charge is the wide man, Anusa, and the ball's loose. That is going to be a knock-on. Yes, it will be. Great chance here for James Cook. And put that down to the brilliant chase of Henderson Anusa, who got right up in the grill of Atenga there and let him know of his presence, and as a result, the knock-on comes. So our first look at James Cook in good ball situation here, Troy. And they look like they're...
Yes, their first time, well, first time this deep into the half down here, and they've got the ball in hand, so they'll be wanting to at least complete a set. More importantly, build a bit of pressure.
So down the left they come, standing out of the scrum is the big fella, Wallace Vaifale. Biggest centre I've ever seen. Perhaps a set play there from the James Cook side. And
St. Paul's line's looking a bit staggered there. Need to firm it up.
right up against it now, and they come back to the middle via Tiariki. Ball is put down. Play on Zakul. Roberts picks it up right in front of the Hayden and roll it upright. So now quick play the ball, and they get on the back of it, and they go very close. It's good goal line defence though from St. Paul's. Roberts again swings it to his right and finds his edge back rower Sui. Good kick out of dummy half, but the knock-on is in the play of the ball. So we'll go back and start again. Showed some promise though when they hit it out to the left edge that time.
Hand over there. Over there. Hand over. I don't mark him. I don't mark. Keep coming here. Right. Go now.
Good first up contact from James Cook, and looking to make amends for that error off the ball now with their defensive work, and the ball
There
comes
it is.
loose again. Well, brilliant stuff, and now Roberts
Took
gets
another hit.
absolutely wrecked. Stays on his feet though, to his credit, and the boys exchange a few words.
Looking at the young fella out on the left there, he certainly wanted to get involved.
Here's our line, St. Paul's. Find your touches,
I
find
think
your
to
touches.
St James seem to have probably more of a leaner team across the park.
Take your time, get in now.
They've got some big boys, but I don't think they've got as many. Here we go.
Roberts retrieves from the back of the scrum, and the Sulla, who was the first ball carrier. But the ball comes loose. Well, that's really poor from James Cook. 6 tackles to play with, and that's the best you can come up with. It'll be very disappointing for coach PJ Tuafatu.
Oh,
So we see a little bit of second phase here, and both teams just need to settle things down a little bit. We're 13 minutes into a grand final, and they're looking like they want to score on every play. Taking the ground now at St. Paul's, and
that's the beauty of college rugby league.
big attempted shot coming out of the line there, but was brushed off, and they'll get a penalty at the end of it as well. And
You can't come in like that.
I think a shoulder charge has been called. It did look a little suspect on first look indeed, so referee right on the spot, and this is a pressure reliever here for St. Paul's. They hold an 8-0 lead, and they'll take this, just get themselves out of trouble, and it's safely into touch up over the ARL 10th and onto the running track here, and
Didn't
no, it's
find it.
not, and my apologies for that. Our vision here, a little hard to tell. So James Cook, well, really a comedy of errors in the last few minutes. Troy, we haven't seen a completed set in about the last 5, and a penalty which failed to find touch. So some really poor stuff from both teams now, and they
Oh, he's gone the ball.
bump it forward, and another
Just
knock
adds
on.
to the woes, adds to the woes. And as you're saying, Corey, you know, the coach down there, for James Cook, will be pulling his hair out. Too many penalties and a number of handling errors will just be putting them under immense pressure.
Come back. Last man's not in yet. Get in there now! Last man!
Wait for the scrum to pack.
Hooker!
Big shout out to Stephen, the official ball to the College Rugby League along with the Auckland Rugby League.
So Mariner feeds the scrum, and they'll head out to the right edge early on, and this is a good carry, but they need to get away from that sideline. Completion's the name of the game, and
Stand up.
held as the call. Tackle completed before he went into touch there. And now they'll centralise via the lock forward. Boston Schuff
Let him out now!
takes them forward.
Here, this side, this side. Go. Play that back. Right.
Knock on, I think, is what we're going to get at the end of that. And
Onto the man on the ground, knock
It's going to go that way.
it was really, really poor. It was a shocking attempt to play the ball. I actually thought there might have been a hand in there, but
Some people
we're cleared of that. And James Cook will now get on the ball. And both teams looking like they're not in a hurry to get to the scrum, but I would have expected better.
Looked a little bit bemused. I think an older head would have just played the ball, played, you know, like it was all normal territory, roll on. And anyway, ball's gone.
release him now! Here, here, here! Go.
There's another one.
Let up. That's fine right now. Tackle's good,
So
tackle's good.
St. Paul's back on the ball now, and the error rate completely dominating this game. A frustrating watch. I can only imagine what it's like for respective coaches down pitch side. We can see Dave McDermott from St. Paul's up here on the deck with us at Mount Smart number 2. He won't be enjoying this at all. Of course, he's preparing for a grand final himself in just a few days' time. The Newland Stags to contest the second tier Crown Lift Trucks Sharman Cup final against Te Atatu, West Auckland Derby for that one. We'll bring you that action live and free by the Auckland Rugby League YouTube. Keep an eye on aucklandleague.co.nz for all the details for that one. Part of 3 matches we will be bringing you on Saturday. Myself and Dale Husband on the call.
Choice benched. Way back.
You'll be joining us for the Sharman game, I understand, Troy. I'm very much looking forward to reuniting with my brother in the commentary box as James Cook now worked the ball forward.
That's 2. Hold. Thank you, Marcus.
dodgy play the ball, but penalty is the call. So James Cook now, well,
First penalty. Yep, you're right on it. Take my thunder.
Now let's not get competitive over completion rate stats, penalties,
Right.
or
My brother.
any of the above. James Cook to kick for touch, and oh, it's found touch, so there's the first obstacle safely navigated.
Here we go, right here.
So 6 minutes to go in this first half, and after a really promising start, St. Paul's have struggled just to find any rhythm, really, haven't they? And on the other side of it, James Cook's completion rate has been a real concern. They're tackled right on halfway now, and tackle is made by Lavi Ma'u and Kama. Fresh on the park now is Luatua, who bumps that ball forward in really dramatic fashion. It whips back now, Roberts. He steals some yardage at a dummy half. And now jumping in is the halfback, Joseph Green. He will hand it back to the big fella, and it is Lafayette. Out the back they go now. Roberts on the ball and avoided a big shot there because lining him up was Latu. Last tackle, and they get the ball in behind, and it's safely cleaned up by a Tinger at the back. Nicely done that time by Levi.
Sloppy play ball.
And penalty the call. And St. Paul's will get the opportunity to kick out of trouble here, you would think. Trainer on the field. So time comes back on now. Does find touch eventually. Takes a bounce along the way.
Got a few metres off it though. Not a bad kick considering.
You're good. Thank you, Freddy. Make sure you come behind. Wait for the foot. Make sure you go.
If you are picking up some of the walkie-talkie noise in the background there, we do apologise. Operations going on in the background. I dare say it's probably a nice break from Troy and I's voice anyway, as Finau takes it forward and Kaz Roberts says, get that into you.
Oh, showing some intent there.
Words exchanged at the play of the ball, and starting to heat up a little bit here now, and I tell you what, the contact all of a sudden has stepped up a notch. St. Paul's won't mind that. There's some big boys lurking, waiting for carries here for St. Paul's. Kolatol. Now they go short at the line, looking for that second phase, and they get it. Promotes it to Tawariki. Get to the kick, and it's a high one, a real tester in these conditions, but it's beautifully taken. And straight back out, and now St. Paul's haven't got back quickly here now, and there might be some little gaps starting to develop. Carries that one forward, and if they can get a quick play of the ball here now, there may be space on the edges. Battles for it and eventually gets to it, and then is told to go back and play it again. Moved off the mark, so any possible advantage is neutralised there, and instead James Cook will play it as St. Paul's reset their line, and PJ Sulla, the man tasked with carrying it forward. Another of the Manurewa Marlins on display today. So Marlins, big return in terms of finals footy this year in the juniors grade, and they're right in the mix for the Crown Lift Trucks Sharman Cup as well. They will take on Ponsonby for the right to play in the grand final. Bay Roskill to face the Franklin Storm. Penalty for James Cook now as we get into the dying stages of this first half. Tiariki shaping like he wants to tap and go, and he does just that. The centre coming in looking for some work there. That's Mac Tokarita. Little juggle and met in some heavy contact as well. They play the ball now. Would dearly love a try here, and just say that it's put down. Faiali'i just had a little look up there, and no wonder, because the last carry from his mate drew a rather heavy response. So as we wait for the scrum to pack down, there won't be long left in this half as I look across to the hill above the ground here and see more people starting to pile into the stadium, and it'll be rocking in an hour's time for the big one. Kelston up against Mount Albert Grammar. Shuffle play on now, and James Cook dishing out a bit of punishment of their own. Junior Sui change of direction at the line there and chews off a few extra meters. Mariner turns back inside. See you later.
Carry.
Loses the boot as well. Don't think he'll mind. Now they come out to the right edge, and another one. Gets rid of Roberts. He's repaying Roberts for a big shot just a few minutes ago. Green involved in the tackle. Hangs around in there as long as he possibly can. And now a little kick dinked in over the top, and it's put down. St. Paul's, they'll want to pack the scrum quickly. Give themselves a chance of clocking some points here. We're inside the final minute by our count.
There's a wee bit of intent there. They're still having a chat about it.
And it must be said, fairly needless when you've got the scrum and it's your feed. Probably let that one wait until later in the match when you've got the ball.
The referee's quite happy to let them have the chat. And now he's going to get involved.
Time off and come out for a talking to. See if we can pick that up on our referee audio.
The defensive players on the ground, he's trying to get up in the ball, coming in the play. Just watch that. Thank you.
So we can probably make it out from the hand movements there that there was talk of perhaps a little rub of the face, which may have triggered things, but it's St. Paul's ball anyway, and an ideal opportunity now to build on this 8-0 lead right before half-time. Left they come now via the interchange man, Kolatau, who beats off one and then is wrestled to ground by Kaz Roberts, who is up over the 20 tackle mark already in this first half, has been super busy. The number 13 for James Cook, ragdolled to ground now, about 12 metres out from the line. They're set heavy to the left. Mariner now orchestrating things, throws a cutout at the line, which is just about picked off.
Yeah.
And then booted away in anger, and St. Paul's quick to get up and let him know about it. The ball is kicked away. St. Paul's want to know if that's a penalty.
Time off.
Siren goes in the background, and that'll get us to half-time. Probably just in time. Things were starting to heat up a little bit there, weren't they, Troy? So that'll be it. We'll go to the break now, and it is St. Paul's College up